Welcome to another episode of Game Time, presented this week by Nusenda Credit Union. I'm JP Murrieta, and this week we're at Las Cruces High School, home of the Bulldogs, and their football team and head coach Mark Lopez. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for being here, JP.
Let's dive right in. You're off to a 1-0 start, a 50-7 win last week against Mayfield. What do you like about your team and that you saw in week one?
Well, I've loved these guys all offseason. You know, I mean, since January, they've been a really determined group. You know, they're a high-character group. They've been hungry for success and improving really in all areas, you know, not just football, but in the classroom as well, in the community as well. And they've been a very energizing group to be around, you know, really fun to come to work every day and help these guys grow. And so to see all that work kind of go into week one against your biggest rival and for you to come out on top 50-7, yeah, you couldn't paint a better picture.
Well, that 50-7 score, too, says a lot. Offensively, you put up some points, your defense held them, and you had a couple pick sixes. What did you like and more impressed by more, your offense or your defense?
Yeah, you know what? It was a complete team effort. I mean, we got a punt return for a touchdown, too. So, I mean, yeah, you talk about, 21 points scored without your offense. And so that, that's also 3 possessions that we didn't have to have. But really a complete effort. I think the most impressed thing that sat on me was just the overall effort and the tenacity. I think that watching film, we made some mistakes as you're going to in any week one. But just the effort that we played with and the relentlessness and that grit and determination just really jumped out on film, and I was really proud of these guys for that.
For the first time in the history of that Mayfield-Las Cruces rivalry, you played them in week one. What was that like? How was it different?
It was weird. We did play them in a week one in the COVID year, and so, that was a weird March game that we played them, but it was really awkward. I mean, it was just different, but by the same token, it was great for the offseason for these guys because, they were able to kind of focus on that week one and really be able to say anytime we kind of didn't have a great day to, hey, man, we better get refocused because we know what we got in week one and we don't want to drop that one. And so, yeah, it was really fun, different, but, man, the community supported just like they always do, and it was a fun night.
Last week's game, you had Daniel Amaro with 3 touchdowns. What kind of player is he, and who are some of these other guys that are going to be impact players for you this year?
Yeah, I mean, Danny's a complete guy for us. I mean, he just he does everything. He blocks well, he runs well, he catches well. He's turning into a great leader for us as well. I really feel like, a strength, of course, it always starts up front for us, both sides of the ball, right? So our offensive line, defensive line, without those guys doing what they do, it's hard for anybody else to do their job. And I thought that we played really well on both sides of the ball up front. And for us, that's where it starts, So you got, Riley Mendez and Josh Quintero and Joaquin and JCL, those guys up front on offense, and Dean did a great job. And then defensively, Carlos Gamboa and Brandon Franco and Caleb Lewis and Colin Bannister, those guys up front really set the tone for us and did a great job in that physicality.
A lot of the preseason talk has been with in Class 6A with defending state champ La Cueva, 3 players are going Division I. The metro and north areas kind of dominated the class recently after coming off the south, kind of dominating the largest school classification. What's it like this year? Is that pendulum coming back? Is this a year that Las Cruces and the southern teams are now kind of making their claim back at the Blue Trophy?
Well, I mean, you hope so. I think at the end of the day, it's in order to be a champion, you got to beat the champion, And so, we haven't done that yet. And so we feel like although we're 1-0 and we feel good about our chances, we feel good about where we're at, these guys are still hungry, and we got to be hungry for improvement the whole way. And then hopefully we put ourselves in that position to get that opportunity. And once we get that opportunity, you hope to make the best of it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's right now the championship lies up north, and if we want that back, we got to do something about it.
Well, and in the pre-district, you're going to have to play some of those tough teams as well. You had Mayfield coming up. You have Volcano Vista. You have Rio Rancho, Cleveland. Also, before you even get to district, who scheduled this for you?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, I think it's always great to have a challenge, up front early in the season because it tells you where you're at. Last year we had this same kind of a challenge, and we started 0-4, and then we finished in the Final Four. And, for us, we take it as a prescription. It's kind of like going to the doctor. It's like every week when you're done, you're going to find out where you're healthy and where you're not healthy. And where you're not healthy, you better do something about it in order to get healthy. And so that's kind of how we look at these first few weeks. And this week is no different. It's focused on us more than anything else. How do we get better at what we're doing? And we know if we can do that every day, it's going to give us a good shot at the end.
Well, this week against Volcano Vista, what kind of game do you kind of see playing out?
It's going to be a tough one. I mean, I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and Volcano is obviously extremely talented, well coached. I mean, that's going to go over the next several weeks, And, I think they're defensively, they fly around a ton. Offensively, they got some great athletes. And so, we're going to have to do a great job again being relentless. We're going to have to clean up some of our mental mistakes that we made from a week ago. They always say your biggest improvement is from week 1 to week 2. And we're going to need that, playing that good of a team and that high quality of a team. So if we can make that improvement, though, we're going to, again, keep focusing on us and trying to get better. And if that happens, then we'll let the chips fall as they may.
Well, you're off to a strong start, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll be back with more Game Time after this. Are you living the life of an athlete? The New Mexico Activities Association brings you Life of an Athlete, a resource for students, educators, and parents to understand the challenges students face. Athletes, one night of drinking will negatively affect your athletic performance for 2 weeks, and athletes who drink or do drugs are twice as likely to get injured. Alcohol's effects can reduce a high school athlete's potential by as much as 20 to 30%. Are you living the life of an athlete? Log on to the website to find out today.
Hi, my name is Andres Costa from Las Cruces High School. Welcome back to Game Time.
Welcome back to Game Time from Las Cruces High School. Week 1 of the high school football season is in the books, and each week on Game Time, we like to look back on some of the highlights and standout performances from some of the games. In Week 1, the 6A defending state champs picked up a W, and the Centennial Hawks went on the road to pick up a big fourth quarter victory. Here are some of those highlights and more.
Class 6A defending state champ La Cueva opened up the year against Volcano Vista. Neither team found the end zone until midway through the second quarter. The Bears put up 3 scores, and the game was called in the third because of a lightning delay, with La Cueva taking it 21-0. Centennial and Cleveland was a back-and-forth battle, with the deciding score not coming until the fourth quarter. Centennial broke a 28-all tie with a TD toss from Zayden Davis to Rudy Rios, and the Hawks left town with a 35-28 road win to start the year. Centennial is back in the metro area this week to take on Atrisco Heritage. Artesia and Carlsbad kicked off the new campaign in one of the oldest rivalries in New Mexico. Artesia quarterback Isaac Cazares threw for 329 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also ran for another score in their 50-7 victory. The Bulldogs are at Hobbs this week. Farmington quarterback Waylon Shake threw for over 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, and ran for another score in Farmington's 47-8 win against Clovis. Crosstown rivals Capital and Santa Fe started the season against each other. The Demons shut out Capital 21-0. Santa Fe is home for the second straight week to take on Belen. The Cibola Cougars snapped a 15-game losing streak with a 20-17 overtime win against Albuquerque High. Danny Triplett caught the game-winning score. It's their first victory since September of 2022. Gadsden opened the season with a 33-0 shutout victory over Chaparral last week. The Panthers will try to make it 2-0 to start the year when they travel to Valencia this week. Highlands Amiri Mumbo rushed for 291 yards and 5 touchdowns against Manzano on opening night. The Hornets start the year with a W, 55-28. Bernalillo's defense came up big against Valley. Ivan Ruiz intercepted a pair of passes, including one for a pick 6. He also recovered a fumble and caught a touchdown pass as Bernalillo beat Valley 46-6. El Dorado went on the road down south in Week 1 and came up big on special teams. Jahari Moorhead scored one of the touchdowns for the Eagles as El Dorado beat Oregon Mountain 21-12. El Dorado gets Cibola this week. The Deming Wildcats made the trip to Alamogordo and beat the Tigers 35-21. Quarterback Ryan Alfaro had 4 touchdowns on the game. Deming will host Oregon Mountain next. Portales quarterback Paxton Culpepper threw a pair of scores against Goddard as the Rams beat the Rockets 22-16. Next up for Portales is a state championship rematch against Lovington this week. In a thrilling finish in Moriarty, the Pintos stopped Albuquerque Academy's 2-point conversion attempt to hold on for the 28-27 opening week win. Moriarty has a scheduled date against Shiprock this week. Raton took down Tohatchee last week 41-0. Quarterback Cannon Walton accounted for 4 scores on the game. Rio Rancho put up a 50 spot on opening night. The Rams took down Atrisco Heritage 54-15 on the first game of the season. It was a big night for Rio Rancho quarterback J.J. Ariano. The senior accounted for 5 scores, 4 TD tosses to 4 different receivers, and he ran for a touchdown. He threw for 273 yards on the night. Rio Rancho is at Clovis this week. Piedra Vista started the year with a W, beating Sandia 28-7. Senior Brig Kreiser rushed for 222 yards and a pair of touchdowns. The Panthers shut out the Matadors in the final 3 quarters. Piedra Vista takes on Bloomfield this week.
Hi, my name is Caden Tierney from Las Cruces High School. Check out the latest football polls.
Hi, my name is Joaquin Wofford from Las Cruces High School, and we'll be back with more Game Time after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials across the country because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
At Jiffy Lube, we car about cars. In fact, we're kind of obsessed. It's why we've been taking car business with quick quality service for over 40 years.
Are you saying car?
That's right, Claire. And with things like our Carful Vehicle Review, where our experts check, fill, inspect, and clean your vehicle, you'll know we'll car for your car like we car for our own. Some people think it's just an oil change. Who cars? We do. We car.
You mean care.
Exactly. Jiffy Lube. Car more.
Welcome back to Game Time from Las Cruces High School. Along with football, the high school soccer season is underway. And on the girls' side, one of the most consistent teams over the past decade is loaded once again with senior talent this season.
The Sandia Prep girls soccer program has won the last 3 Class A through 3A state championships and titles in 7 of the last 8 years. They are looking to tie their own program record with a 4th straight state title this season.
Our senior leadership is full of people that have played for me since 8th grade. Kayla Calkins, one of our players that have been with me for 5 years at the back, Bridget Hurley, Penny Hashigan, having the mark of her sister that played for me for 5 years, all Metro player, all state, all-star. It's really a chance for those seniors to kind of step up and show these incoming underclassmen how we do things within Sandia Prep.
This year, the Sun Devils have 8 returning seniors on the roster with the same goal as last season.
Well, our main goal all season that we always are working for is another state championship. But I think to do well in mostly districts and to do well in Metro too.
For the first time under head coach Matt Westerland, Sandia Prep was invited to play in the Metro Championships against 4A and 5A competition.
It's super exciting being like the first time that any of us are going to be playing in Metro. It's nerve-wracking because we're going to be playing against the larger schools, bigger opponents. But I see it as an opportunity to show, even though we are a smaller school, that we can still hang with the bigger ones.
It's everybody is a target for us, both for they want to take us out and us on the flip side wanting to impress.
By the time district rolls around, the Sun Devils should be battle-tested. After the Metro Championships, Sandia Prep is also scheduled to play in the Albuquerque Academy Invitational against more 4A and 5A schools.
From the very first day, it's something that we have to prove on the field, play with our heart on our sleeve and really support each other. So I think that hopefully after the first month, everyone, in our classification outside of it are going to be, of course, taking note of the kind of, leadership and players that we have.
Sandia Prep will take on Rio Grande next on Wednesday. Some of the top cross-country runners in the state started the season this past weekend at the annual Cleveland Invitational. Here's a look at some of the varsity highlights.
Me and my second best man, Mateo, we decided to lead from the beginning, led the whole way, and then just every mile try to keep picking it up and picking it up. And then that last stretch on the back, it was just whoever had more in them. That was the plan from the beginning. And there's nothing I'd rather do than race right beside my teammate, trying to push each other to be the best athletes we can be. And I love it. I love the feeling. I woke up this morning and I felt great. Mentally, I was in the right spot. It feels good knowing that I have a good team behind me, so I felt really good coming into this race today.
Yes, it was super fun. I missed racing so much. I'm so excited to be racing. And I knew that I had to get a good start, and so I probably started a little too fast because it started getting a little bit tougher at the end, but it was super fun. I was so excited. I was listening to my coach. He always tells me to relax my shoulders, so I finally learned what it means to relax your shoulders. But I was just so grateful to be out there, all my teammates cheering for me, and it was just so much fun.
That's going to do it for another episode of Game Time, presented this week by Newsenda Credit Union. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you tune in each and every week during the school year, because you never know where we're going to show up, who we're going to talk to, or who we're going to spotlight. But you do know the place to find the most high school highlights is right here. We'll see you next time on Game Time.